Welcome punters to the Australian Derby edition of Spruikers. I'm very pleased to have on my left and your right age and thelastwordracing.com.au form guru, expert champion Michael Sharkie. Mick, thank you so kindly for joining us today.
No worries, Jake. I like the guru tag. Yeah, I could definitely rock that, I think.
Well,
maybe an orange sort of wrap there.
Let's just see how you go before I might have to retract that next week. But before we get onto the big races from Randwick this Saturday, let's get all the racing news from Nat at the news desk.
Thanks, Jake. Rosehill Guineas winner Zabrasive has firmed as the favourite to take out Saturday's AJC Australian Derby at Randwick after drawing barrier 3. The John O'Shea trained gelding had a stellar workout at Randwick on Tuesday morning, which further confirms Zabrasive as favourite for the $1.3 million race. Bart Cummings' Rock Classic will start from barrier 7 and is second favourite for the Derby despite stablemate Suyama outshining him on the track during the week. Melbourne Cup winning trainer Mark Kavanagh has bought champion mare Makybe Diva's second foal for $1.2 million. It is the first filly for the three-time Melbourne Cup winning mare. And multiple Group 1 winner El Segundo has been retired after sustaining a tendon injury during the George Ryder Stakes at Rosehill last Saturday. Looking at the weather forecast for Saturday's AJC Australian Derby and a chance of showers with a top of 27 degrees expected. And that's all the racing news for now. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much for that, Nat. Interesting news there, particularly with some of Bart Cummings' runners in the Derby. Why don't we go there first to the nation's richest classic race over the 2,400 metres. It promises to be a beauty, as it is every year. Mick, let's just go through the market first. Abrasive, the impressive winner last start, $3.50. Rock Classic, $5.10, who just went down as Abrasive last time out. Shootout, who ran fourth in that same race at Rosehill at $7.20. Keep the Peace, who I think is the only filly in the race, at $10. And Desperado, Gai Waterhouse and National Willer there at $13.50. The rest are $16 and better. It's going to be a really interesting race, I think, particularly given it's going to be a heavy track, or at best probably a slow track, given the current conditions.
We'll get a bit better than that, won't we?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be showers, as Nat said. So I don't know. Are you taking that into consideration?
Oh, probably not. Just
best horse wins.
I reckon dead track, best horse wins, staying race.
What did you make of the Rosehill Guineas, as opposed to the other lead-up races to this race?
Yeah, look, Zabrasive was impressive and interesting. Just the blinkers going again and on another Zabeel, and bang, they just switch on. It's terrific, and you'd think he'd be suited even better at a mile and a half.
Yeah, the blinkers do have an impact. Nat mentioned that Rock Classic worked poorly during the week and Suyama worked better. Rock Classic worked without the blinkers, and I think they go back on this week, so he should be improved by that.
Yeah, a bit of sneaky Bart Cummings action there. Take the shades off, just give him a quiet one. Oh yeah, no, he was okay, he's okay. Oh, he'll improve out of sight. He'll run a huge race on Saturday.
Do you give Bart's other entry into the race, Suyama, any chance?
No.
No, no chance at all?
Stone, no chance.
Is that right?
Yeah, no chance.
Who are you tipping on top?
Oh, look at the odds. $7.20 for Shootout. He wasn't that bad in the Rosehill Guineas. He was hitting the line okay, and the pacifier's come off him. I think he's probably gone a bit stale in that gear.
Yep.
So he's a great each-way bet, $7.20.
I agree with you on that. I think he goes much better at Randwick than he does at Rosehill. He's won twice at Randwick from 2 cracks and has not failed both times at Rosehill, but not quite impressed as much. I'm with you. I think Shootout is probably some great value in that race. Let's push on to the TJ Smith, the weight for age sprint on the card. Hot Danish. Can she get her first Group 1? She's $2.70. Mick Mac, first up since November at $3.10. Wanted, after having a freshen up since his win in the Newmarket, is $4.10. Patronami leads the rest at $11 in a small field. And as we know, in these small fields, at weight for age races, anything can happen. Can Hot Danish? Hot Danish?
Absolute lay of the day, Hot Danish.
Not convinced by her at the top level?
Might struggle to run a place.
Is that right?
Well, Mick Mac, unbeaten first up.
Yeah, 2 for 2 first up.
Was enormous.
Yeah.
Flies at the trip. Wanted. We're talking about a Newmarket winner.
Yeah.
And he's been freshened up.
Do you think he's suited at weight for age?
Why not?
Do you give him Melito?
Well. His weight for age runs in Melbourne, terrific.
Correct. Do you give any chance to Melito?
She might just keep Hot Danish out of her place, I feel.
Yeah, I think she's probably the one that could blouse these top few. Right. I'm pretty keen on Mick Mac though, like you. I've followed him since very early in his career, and I'm pretty keen on him. Yeah. I think he's a Mick Mac paddywhack, I think we used to call him once upon a time. But the other Group 1 on the card as well is the Size Produce Stakes. A bit of a golden slipper consolation, I fear. Well, not I fear, but I fancy. And More Strawberries was a pretty big run in that race. She ran into third place along the rail in last week's event at Rosehill. She's a 260 favourite. Hinchinbrook, the other Golden Slipper runner, who ran fourth in that race at 325. It's double figures the rest. Is it a 2-horse race?
Well,
Nick?
8 of the last 10 winners of this race have come through the slipper.
Yep.
So you've got to take that into consideration with the favourites. But Divorces and Blackball, Snowden runners, double figure odds, good value there for each way punters.
Be interesting to see which horse Karen McAvoy decides to ride. I'm not quite sure at this stage which he's riding. More Strawberries. She does a bit wrong in her races, doesn't she?
She does. Well, she's only had 3 runs, so there's plenty more improvement to come from her. What sort of a horse is she going to be in the spring, really?
Yeah, well, look, I think both More Strawberries and Hinchinbrook were very impressive in the Golden Slipper without winning. But look, it remains to be seen whether they can run the trip and whether More Strawberries can stay out of trouble. Mick, we'll get your Betfair Big Spruik in just a second, but before we do, we'll get the learned Nat Edwards to give us her Betfair Big Spruik of the week.
The Betfair Big Spruik.
Well, boys, I think you already know what my Betfair Big Spruik is going to be this week. Old Man Bart wins every time, and even though Rock Classic had a pretty disappointing run at Randwick during the week, I'm sure the 3-year-old just didn't want to peak too early. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty wet track, and I think that might suit Rock Classic, who's drawn a wider barrier in barrier 7, which is also my lucky number.
Thanks very much, Nat. Predictable as the sun rising, the Bart fetish kicks on. You realise he's 82 years of age, don't you? I hope so. A little
So
bit.
those eyebrows are.
Yeah, oh, they're fantastic, aren't they?
Gorgeous eyebrows.
Obviously, Nat going with Bart again with her Big Spruik. Mick, how are you going to play these Group 1s? What's your standout for the day and or lay of the day even?
I'll be laying Hot Danish until my nose bleeds.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with an each way bet in the size. I'm going to go with Divorces. Pete Snowden kept her away from the Golden Slipper on purpose for this race in the Champagne. $12. I reckon you'll get better on the day.
You will get. I'm almost positive you'll get better on the day because there'll be a stream of money, you'd imagine, for the top 2 in that race. I'm going to make Mick Mac paddywhack my Betfair Big Spruik this week in the TJ Smith. I think he flies first up, and I think he'll be very hard to catch in that one. Punters, if you're betting this weekend, and perhaps if you're busy on Saturday afternoon, not able to get to your PC, Betfair has reintroduced the Betfair SP starting price product, which means you can bet on Thursday afternoon if you like at the SP, and you can essentially know or be comfortable with the fact that you're going to get a very reliable price. Equal or better than Best Tote and those sort of products generally. So look up sp.betfair.com.au for more information about that. Michael Sharkie, thank you very much for joining me today, and hopefully our Big Spruiks can get up this weekend. Good luck and happy punting, everyone out there this Derby Day. Cheers.